Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply, and on this project we're creating some cutouts in push plates for a client. And this project is 2 hollow metal doors that we're supplying that is going to the National Park Service out in Colorado in the general Lake Tahoe area. Push plates on both sides that have a set of back-to-back pull handles on both sides. So to pull the door open, you'll pull the door open. To enter the restroom and close the door, you'll be physically pulling the door closed and throwing the deadbolt. So each of my plates, I'm going to have a 2 1/8 inch hole for the deadbolt on both sides near the top. Then I'm going to have 2 holes for the through bolts for the push and pull plates. And while we're going to go through making the tool pathing in VCarve Pro, part of this video is to also think critically about what actually makes sense in terms of having a nicer installation for the material, in terms of where the hardware is positioned. Okay, before we get back to drawing the vectors for the opposite side of the doors, let's just take a closer look at the hardware that we're doing. Obviously, let's do the push plate first, then I'll show you the pull handles. The deadbolts I don't have, but there's nothing unusual about them. Why 6-inch wide? I like 6-inch wide because they seem to protect the door better because they're wider than standard. And while it probably doesn't ultimately matter much on this job, nonetheless, here's our push plate. 50 thousandths, and I'm going to take the opportunity to actually measure it so we can update our material setup, our job setup. Blue film that's on there. The caliper's telling me 40 thousandths. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, just shy on 40 thousandths. It really should be 50 thousandths. I mean, that's a lot to be off. 20% off. This is a Donjo plate, and peace and love to Donjo, but they do paint with a wider brush on certain things. So we'll set our material setup for this. Now let me show you the pull handles. Nice, petite, they're going to do the job, the whole 9 yards. These are sets back to back, and I'll show you the back-to-back sets, how this works. Good opportunity for me to also confirm that they're, yep, 1/4 bolts. So what's going to happen here is the exterior half. We'll take the bolt threaded into the drill and tapped hole in the back side. Good enough. Just need a screwdriver to get that in anymore. Oh, good. Okay. Inside pull handle will come on like that. Beautiful. Then set screws are going to go into the edge here, and I'll just start those in. I'll seat those down with an Allen wrench because I don't want them to get lost. So here's our pull handles, and that's what the 3/8 holes are gonna be for, obviously. Okay, there you go. That's our hardware. Okay, let's go back and let's draw the vectors for the push side of both of these 2 doors. Okay, so here's our right-hand reverse plate. So what we want to do is let's take these vectors, let's copy them to a new layer called INTRHR, interior right-hand reverse. The new layer is visible. The new layer is active as well. Okay. I'm going to turn off the right-hand reverse exterior layer. Now we've only got the interior right-hand reverse layer shown, and that is, it's the same as the right-hand reverse. So what we're going to do is we need to move these closer to the edge by 1/2 inch. Now where am I getting 1/2 inch? I'm getting 1/2 inch from this idea, just really rude and crude and quick. Okay, I've got basically what is a frame section here. All right, there's a door section. So I'm assuming that the existing frames have a 5/8 stop projection. That's a really safe assumption. This is 1/8 of an inch. That's also a really safe assumption. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move everything closer to the edge of the plate by that 1/2 inch, 5/8 minus 1/8 of an inch. That's where that's coming in. So I'm only on the interior right-hand reverse. So what I want to do is I want to actually just simply move these, move selected objects. I want to move them to 2 1/4 on the X. So relative should be negative 0.5. When I hit apply, this should all shift over slightly. Yeah, that's what I wanted it to do. Close. We're good. We should be good. Let's illuminate the right-hand reverse. And that shows those two plates together. However, we have made a mistake, and doing this allowed me to realize it. What I've drawn here is not the right-hand reverse interior, it's actually the left-hand reverse interior. So let's rename that. And if we just think about that in our mind's eye, so I've got the exterior left-hand reverse layer visible and the interior left-hand reverse layer visible. That means that the difference between the edge here and the edge here should be a 1/2 inch. 1.17. This should be 1.67. And it is, quite roughly. So yeah, we're good. That makes sense to us. So let's remove the interior left-hand reverse. Let's now take our exterior left-hand reverse plate and let's turn it into an interior right-hand reverse plate. So let's take these, right mouse button, copy to layer, new layer, INTRHR. Okay, now let's look at our layers. What we should now do is take these and let's move them relative negative 0.5. So interior right-hand reverse. Let's take that and let's illuminate both the interior and exterior. No, something's not right there. If you are enjoying this video, please click thumbs up or like, and also please consider subscribing to our channel. Let's move on to the rest of the video. And as I'm studying this, the problem that was created was the interior right-hand reverse was copied off of the exterior left-hand reverse. That's not accurate. So what we need to do is let's delete these vectors on the interior right-hand reverse. Let's highlight exterior right-hand reverse. Let's copy to interior right-hand reverse. We'll turn on the interior right-hand reverse, now knowing that we need to move this all relative 0.5, close. No, that doesn't seem right. But as and luckily so, as I'm going through figuring out how to flip my plates over, I realized that I've got a mistake here in the sense that I'm at 2 3/4 from the edge of the plate over. That's not what I want. I want 1 3/4 is what I actually want, because we're going to hold the plate off 1 inch off the edge. This guideline is at 2 3/4. Let's create a new relative guideline at -1. Create. Close. Now this guideline is at 1 inch from the edge of the plate. Okay, so the mistake was this dimension should be 3/4 inch from here to here. Yeah, it is. So if I move all of these holes, I move them relative -1. Yeah, now they're all positioned correctly. So on the outside of my right-hand reverse, that's what this is, the door is going to come over here. So we'll be at 2 3/4. Okay, that's much better. Much better. This guideline we can get rid of. And in fact, this guideline was just there to help us at 1 inch. So we know that we're at 1 inch. Let's put a guideline right on the edge of the material. New position at 0 on the X. Apply. Now, new guideline at -1 inch. Close. This is our door edge, this guideline. This guideline, I don't know, it doesn't matter to me. That's our door edge. Okay, so that's the good side, that's the good position of our exterior of a right-hand reverse. And we're going to be about 11/16 off the edge. 11/16 0.6875 plus 1.0625 plus 1 is 2 3/4. Okay, so this is in the right position. 11/16 plus half of this diameter is 1 1/16 plus the 1 inch that we're hanging off from the edge, as shown by this. So from here to here is 2 3/4. Right on. That's good. Now, let's correct our mistakes. Let's go to our exterior left-hand reverse. Let's turn off our right-hand reverse exterior. And let's get rid of these, because they're probably in the wrong spot. They're in the wrong spot now, probably. So let's turn on our exterior right-hand reverse. Let's copy these to our exterior left-hand reverse. Okay, I'm going to leave that right there so you can see when I'm dropping down the layers. Much better. Okay, now we need to reposition on the x-axis our exterior left-hand reverse. So we're going to highlight these. Now what do we have to move them over? Well, what we have to move them over is the plate's 6 inch wide. We know that we're 1 3/4 off the edge. So 6 minus 1 3/4 is 4 1/4 minus 1 3/4. And that's 2 1/2. So 6 inch is the width of the plate. We know this dimension is 1 3/4. We want these holes to be over on this side, 1 3/4 over. So 6 inch minus 1 3/4 would leave us with 4 1/4, which is this dimension, minus 1 3/4 is 2 1/2. So let's move the selected objects relative 2.5 on the X. Apply. Great. Now let's bring up our right-hand reverse and our left-hand reverse. These are the positions of our holes for the pull side of both of these doors. Machining on these plates will be done from the top, the finished plate part of the plate. Not a problem. Okay, let's rework the interior plates now. If you are enjoying this video, please click thumbs up or like, and also please consider subscribing to our channel. Let's move on to the rest of the video. I think we can see what the immediate problem is going to be, meaning this is the exterior of the right-hand reverse door. Hinges over here and it swings this way. By the time we adjust this for the interior, our hole is going to be far too close. And what we were wanting to do was to move the prep well off the edge of the door, meaning 1 inch. So this line represents the edge of the door. So it's just going to be far too close, meaning that when we move the prep over the 1/2 inch needed to avoid conflict with the stop, and actually I'm going to want it to be 5/8. Yeah, it's going to be 5/8. We're just way too, it's not possible because this dimension from the edge of the hole to the edge of the door is only 11/16. So it would be literally on the edge of the plate. So let's move our guideline down to, let's say that we're going to hold the plate 1/4 inch off the edge of the door. So we're going to readjust our center line, our vertical center line. So this line here represents the edge of the door. Okay, now we're going to want a new guideline, relative 2.75, create, close. So this is where our items need to now be. On the X position, 1.75, so it should be 2.5 now. Apply, and it is. 2.5 is basically 2 3/4 minus the 1/4 inch here. So that's right at a 2 1/2 inch backset. So that means that our plates for the interior side need to be biased over here, but they're going to need to be 1 7/8 off the edge. Let's play with that idea and let's see what works. Let's first correct the exterior of our left-hand reverse. We're going to turn off the layer for our right-hand reverse. Now this guideline is at 6 inch. Let's put a guideline at 6 1/4 to represent the edge of the door. Let's now create a new guideline minus 2.5, except we want to adjust, let's adjust 5/8 for the stop. So 2.5, so 1.875. Create new guide. That didn't work. Oh, sorry. It needs to be 4 1/8. No. 6 1/4 minus 1.875 should be 4 3/8. Let's see if that works. Close. Now, I'm just doing that math in my head, which of course is really risky business. 1 7/8, edge of the door to the prep. Let's try that again without getting cavalier with our math. So 2 1/2 is our back set, but we're going to adjust it by 5/8. So that's 1 7/8. So 6 minus is 2 7/8. So that can't be right. We are at 6 1/4 minus our 2 1/2 inch back set plus, that should be plus 5/8 to get closer. So 4 3/8, yeah. So this position needs to be at 4.375. Apply. Now what we're going to do is we're going to move our vectors to 4 3/8 on the X. And now they're positioned correctly. And that means that the edge of the plate to the edge of the hole should be 5/8 less than on the... Oh, no. I'm so sorry. I'm doing all of this logic as if this was the interior of the right-hand reverse. Let's do this. Let's get rid of the interior right-hand reverse that I just did. Let's turn on what I thought I was doing, the interior of the right-hand reverse, and let's copy to the interior of the right-hand reverse. Copy, interior, okay. Yes. Okay. So there are our preps. So we can see them both because I have both layers turned on, and that's handy because what I want to do is check our dimensions here. 1 7/8. And we can see now when we look at the outside and the inside at the same time, something doesn't look right. And as we study this, I can see that the edge of the door to the back set is the problem. It's only at 2 inch. So that needs to be at 2 1/2, not 2 3/4. Apply. Close. All right, now these vectors need to be at 2 1/2. Move to 2.5 on the X. Okay, good. Okay, so what we're going for is a 5/8 difference between the edge of the door on the exterior plate. Looks like we're at 1 7/16, so that makes sense because it's a 2 1/8 inch hole. Let's try that again. So edge to what our door edge is 2 3/4, okay, and we're at 1 7/16 here. So 1 7/16 minus 5/8 should be at 13/16. And what we've got from our theoretical edge of the door here to the edge of the hole should be 13/16. And it is 0.8125. You can see in the upper left-hand area. Okay, that's our outside layer. That's the outside of a right-hand reverse door. Now the inside of the right-hand reverse door, those holes have to be a lot closer to the edge. .9/16 and 1 7/16. So that's 7/8 of an inch, which is 5/8 plus a 1/4 inch. Except that the problem with that logic is we've already calculated the 1/4 inch, so the interior right-hand reverse needs to be moved over an additional 1/4 inch. So let's turn off the right-hand reverse. Let's select these vectors. Let's move them to 4 1/8. Apply. Yep. Let's move that guideline just so it's there. Apply. Close. Okay, let's bring in the other vector, the outside. And yeah, this is what it should look like, as far as I can guess. And what I mean to say by that is the difference between the edge of the plate and the center of the hole, it's 2 1/2 over here, as we know, because that's the edge of the door, should be 5/8. So edge of the plate to the center line should be 1 7/8. Let's take a look. And indeed it is. Yeah, so that's good. 1 7/8 on this side, 2.5 inch on this side, and we're in good shape. And we really don't need that guideline because we're not using it, but I'm going to leave it there for the other two. So let's move on and let's turn off these two vectors. Let's turn on the right-hand reverse exterior. That needs to be at 6 minus 2.5, so 3.5, right? 3.5. Apply. Let's make sure we're on the right layer. Yeah, we're on the exterior left-hand reverse. Let's move these to 6 minus 2.5, 3.5. 3.5, apply, okay. Except, of course, the problem that we have here is that we're looking at the exterior, the exterior of the left-hand reverse. Yeah, that's all good. Now what we want to do is the interior of the left-hand reverse. And if we recall, that should be at 1 7/8. Yeah, okay. Yeah, the dimension's okay. The problem is the guideline moved when I went to the different layer. So we should be at 1 7/8 on the interior of the left-hand reverse. Yeah, 1 7/8 from the edge. That makes sense. To the center line. Yeah, 1 7/8. So let's go to the interior left-hand reverse. Let's put us a guideline at 1 7/8. And then that's okay. We really don't need a guideline, but we're here anyway. Let's grab our vectors. Let's move them to 1.875 on the X. There it is. Now, the most important reality check, because I'm really not convinced we got this right. I believe we have it right, but we need to double check this. Because that dimension seems, it's probably okay. 13/16. Yeah, okay. Let's go through a series of double checks now. So let's do a little reality check to see if we believe that we've got this material made correctly. So I've got 2 blank plates here, and what I'll do is just strike a line. I'll put a light pencil line on them where the holes will line up, and we're just going to take a look and see if our reality check makes sense. So let's do that right now. Okay, so according to our drawing, we should have on the exterior side, from the edge of the plate to the center of the hole, at 2.5 inch. So I'm going to physically mark 2.5 inch on here for the right-hand reverse. I'm just doing this right below where you can see on the camera. Okay, I'm just going to strike a vertical line so that it looks nice, easier to see. Not much to see there, but that's okay. We want it really reasonably light so I can erase it should I need to. Okay, so 2.5 inch from the edge of the plate. Now on our drawing, I'm looking at V-carve here. We should be at, from the edge of the plate to the center of the hole, we should be at 1 7/8. So let's do that. We're just going to take this right-hand reverse. Yes, we'll just take it and turn it over, because I have the plates facing each other the way that they would be if they were actually installed. 1 7/8 from the edge. Now the final thing would be to shift the one plate over 5/8 of an inch, and then what should happen is our lines should end up right where we want them. 5/8. 8. Now, it looks like they line up. There's a very light line that you can see here, and a very light line here. Now, I'm going to put a piece of tape on these units and on the plates and have it fall off the edge, and then if they line up, then we know that we're in a good spot. So let me do that off camera, and we'll show you what it looks like. Thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, please click thumbs up, please subscribe, and maybe even send the video to someone that you know. Thank you.